So if you guys frequent the second channel at all, you know that I've been doing dedicated follow-up videos to my main channel videos where I go and read some of the top comments, try and see if I can maybe give you a little extra background information on the video, yada yada, right? After doing that for a bit, I think I've figured out what I like about that and what I don't like about that. And I think the best solution to do from here on out is to just do monthly roundups of the videos instead of dedicated videos to each one. Sometimes the comment section, there's just not enough to comment on. Maybe I just really don't have a lot more to say about the video. I put it all into the video, or a lot of the comments are saying similar things, so I can't really respond to a whole bunch of different things, and there's just not enough there. It's not enough for just one dedicated video, in my opinion. So I think it'd be fun to do monthly roundups where I take a look at all the videos. I'll organize them in chapters so you guys can look at the little timeline, see what the fuck you want to look at, what you don't want to look at. And if I do have enough to talk about something very different from the main channel video, or I have a lot to add, then it will have its own dedicated video. For example, 13 Ghosts is not going to be in this roundup, even though it's my recent upload. That's because I want to do a 13 Ghosts tier list because I think that's fun. That's just a completely different thing. So I think that makes sense instead of spamming you with, you know, dedicated videos for each thing when there's just not really a lot to talk about all of the time. So, because I've waited a bit to do this, I am going to be doing the month of February where I uploaded 3 videos, but I'm also going to take into account 2 videos that I uploaded at the end of January because I never touched on those. The last dedicated video I made was for the Steven Seagal film, so we're going to pick up right after that to February, where I watched Death Force 2. These Japanese horror movies keep getting taken down. The reason it's called that, and I don't remember if I mentioned it in the review or not, there was a channel before that had uploaded all the parts. Then they vanished. Then another channel uploaded a few parts. Then during my review in the works, those videos went down, and I don't know why. But the person who actually uploaded them reached out to me. I don't remember if they told me why they were taken down, but they gave me an alternative to find every part of the Death Force series so I could take a look at them. So actually, on that note, I can show you this. Yes, a Death Forest Blu-ray disc that apparently has parts 1 through 5 all on the disc. The background, just zoomed in fucking fat Yoshi face, and I love it. I have not tested this out, surprisingly. Apparently it's all there. Apparently it's subtitled. Maybe, I don't know. I'd be shocked even if they're all there without being subtitled, but this suggestion was given to me by the person who uploaded those Death Force Part 1 and 2 and 3, I believe. Shout out to them. If this works, that's fucking awesome. And yes, I will absolutely be reviewing the rest of the Death Force series. This video ended up getting age restricted because of the Fleshlight ad, I'd assume, which, you know, it makes sense. It kind of blows ass though, because this video was actually doing really well on my channel. The views were fucking great. The reception was great. It was doing so good within like the first like 36 hours or so. And then it got demonetized, and demonetization will fucking floor your progress if your video is doing great. I have noticed that more and more and more and more, having been a victim of that more and more and more and more. I get why some creators will literally take down the video and try and fix whatever's wrong with it and then re-upload it, even though they've already gotten like a handful of views. It's just, they just know the value of having it be monetized long term. So yeah, unfortunately, I kind of fucked myself over because I put a Fleshlight ad, you know, fully taking the risk that this is going to be age restricted because of the Fleshlight ad. But I didn't think the video was going to fucking like pop off crazy, and it was popping off crazy, and then flatline. You win some, you lose some. You gotta take that L sometimes. But yes, let's read some comments on this. Air Anime Angel said, he didn't say I planted the rice. He said, is he alive? That's not even remotely similar, and I'm cackling. Yeah, that's, I believe that's what someone said on the original video as well, and I still don't understand how out of all the words to translate to, that's what we ended up with. The Pigeon Show TV, hey, shout out to Pigeon Show TV, said, honestly, GG watching a foreign movie with no subtitles and just made up narrative and dialogue as he goes along is something I'd watch. Yeah, there was a lot more of that was cut out of the video. I had entire scenes where I was doing that, but I cut it out for time's sake because I was like, this is stupid that I'm doing this. Let me just stick to the script here a bit. Bananas cuckoo butter biscuits. Starlight Teen said, I like the constant predictions of what's going to happen next. When you've seen enough horror to know where it's going, and to be fair, subtitles plot in these kind of movies, not the most important thing to know. I mean, yeah, you know, you just go off a lot of body language, go off you know, what would I do if I were making this fucking horror movie and I didn't really care too much about it? You run with it. Mystery Gigi. Mista GG dubbed over Japanese horror with nothing to go on other than context is something I didn't know I needed in my life. Okay, I guess you guys enjoyed that. Maybe I should have kept in those whole ass sections I cut out when I was doing that. And we're going to cap off the Death Forest 2 follow-up on that. Now moving on to why band movies are not what you think. A video that I've changed the title on like 7 times, and I've changed the thumbnail on like 4 times because I was hoping to have this get picked up in the algorithm a little bit because I like this video a lot. Like I said, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes a little thumbnail trick, title switch, you know, will do the trick, but you gotta strike gold. Like the stuff, like the fucking Steven Seagal film, that was doing very, not poorly, but it was underperforming. And then I changed the title a few times, and then I changed the thumbnail. And once I did that, got picked up in the algorithm, started doing great. It's just the name of the game. You know, sometimes, so if you're ever questioning, like, why did he title it this? Why is he using this thumbnail? It's just the name of the game, baby. You're on a slot machine. And if you can fucking get a good guess going, maybe you get picked up in the algorithm, but you gotta make sure it's monetized first. Okay, so the comments here. D-Pat Gamer said, shoutouts to Mr. Gigi for creating a critically acclaimed long-running film and TV interview series for a single bit. Such commitment. Yeah, shout out to Single Scoutman for throwing in that little title sequence and making it seem oh so legit. Okay, so KTZ is having KTZ made a comment talking about how Shrek 2 wasn't actually banned in Israel because that's a quick joke that I throw in there. Yeah, it was like this super little specific thing where they were like, we're gonna pull a movie because of that. And then they just brought it right back after that problem was fixed. It's still funny to technically say that Shrek 2 was banned in Israel. That's a great joke. So when I was looking through, I was basically looking through a massive list of banned movies, right? And when I was looking through them, I ended up learning about so many movies, so many reasons, but like there was a bunch of selections that I didn't think were, it just wasn't interesting enough. I just personally didn't care. So I had a lot more here because it's a big fucking list and I can kind of just shoot anywhere. So I really just focused on the specific examples that I found I could get a lot from. So like I think the Bicycle Thief movie was a great story, and then that Gert Frobe story was also phenomenal. Like I could make one more video concerning this banned movie list, maybe, and I say maybe, even though there's like fucking hundreds of movies that have been banned around the world. But I don't know. I mean, it was, I'm not gonna say it was a struggle to make this one, but it was just a lot of picking and choosing and being like, that fucking sucks. Reading through it, okay, well, yeah, sure, but that kind of fucking sucks. I thought this video would be a lot easier to make when I first thought of looking through some banned movies. That was not the case, surprisingly so. But I really enjoyed this video. I think it's a fun, cool, quick, it's 12 minutes, it's short, but I think for what it is, it's an interesting watch. IMO. And with that, we can move on to how to turn disgusting into successful pink flamingos. I already knew this was going to get demonetized. There was no hope for this. Thankfully, it was monetized for like a day or two, and then it got cracked on. I would have had to tell my editors to heavily censor, straight up like block out scenes, block out some of the things I'm saying, and just really whittle down the this is a certain type of video where, in a fucked up way, I don't want to water it down too much because, I mean, Pink Flamingos is fucking Pink Flamingos. There's a bunch of fuck shit in it. I want to show you as much fuck shit as I can possibly show you while staying within the terms of service. But it's also like, you know, you're fucking yourself over and you're fully accepting that this video will most likely not be shown to as many people as you would like to show it to because it's gonna suffer with a demonetization or age restriction, right? It's kind of this weird thing that you have to decide on what you want to do, and it's not even a fact of money in this case. It's just like, I would rather not have my editors censor this to hell and back and have me kind of rewrite some of the things I'm saying in the script, because some of the shit I'm saying is fucked up too, right? I don't know. I pretty much knew that this video wasn't going to do great, but I wanted to put it out there regardless. Garrett said, you had to go through a lot of shit to get this one out to us, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Garrett. Battlestar said, true story, my mom had this DVD and I watched it as a young teen. I then showed it to my cousin, who showed it to some of her friends. Those friends stopped talking to her. Rightfully so, well deserved. NJR said, oh my god, your reaction to the one scene where the guy flexes his butthole for 20 minutes was everything. I laughed so hard myself, I scared a cat. Poor fucking cat. Yeah, it was, I think we all know, I've seen it, my handful of fuck shit. I'm sure we all have, right? I'm not saying I'm like a privileged member of the board here, but I do not enjoy watching a butthole flex for an extended period of time. I just don't like looking into a gaping asshole. Hot take. I just don't. And I don't like it's seen doing this shit. Just like, I don't need to see. And I don't ever need to see into this area with like sunlight hitting the perfect angle, fucking 4K lens. I'm all right. We can move on. The Fresh Prince of Saiyan said, your editor always doing God's work, making the most horrifying shit easier to watch. Yes! Shout out to Single Scoutman and my boy Dubs for editing this one. Dubs edited the live watch, Scout edited everything else. So, fucking legends, baby. MMW said, fun fact, the whole cast was on a lot of drugs in filming this movie. Divine doesn't remember eating the dog poop or most of the film. Also, my favorite John Waters film is Female Trouble. Divine is the lead again, and it's majority the same actors. I read a lot of background shit for this movie. An incredible amount. Way too much than I needed to for no reason, but that's just kind of the name of the game when you're doing some research on some of these films. You're going to take in a lot of information that I'm not going to end up regurgitating back to you, but it's just something that I'm holding because I do want to slightly know what the fuck I'm talking about, and two, if I'm able to incorporate those things into the review, then even better. They were pretty much all friends. John Waters and his buddies, they started their own little group. I forgot what the name of it, the Dreamlanders, I want to say, but it was just their little group filming together, having a good time. I don't believe anybody was getting paid, like, except the fucking cameraman that they ended up firing, but everyone just wanted to act. They just wanted to be in the movie. And lo and behold, this one ended up fucking going crazy in the late night cinemas. Let's move on to the video that I uploaded just 2 days later. TikTok said they couldn't finish this movie. Soft and Quiet. Soft and Quiet, which was a very interesting movie to watch. Yeah, let's just start reading some of the comments on this one. Michael Pepin said, I really appreciate that Mr. GG attacks all percentages of his viewers equally. Yeah, that was a fun little bit I had in there. Neonacon said, the sad thing is you initially think of it as a happy ending since the girl survived and she'll be able to bring the woman to justice. But will she? Yes, that's obviously a thought you can ponder. I obviously haven't rewatched this movie since the fucking review, but letting it sink in. By the way, this hat doesn't fit my head. Just want to clarify that. That's why I don't ever wear it. That's why it's over there. Doesn't fit my head. And it's even fucking snaps. Not enough snaps for this fat head, baby. So it's very much forced on my head in these scenes. Also, for one of the skits, I just want to bring this up. The pie eating skit. After she brings a little swastika pie, I do a skit in there that makes no sense. The person with the pie asks a guy for the pie. This is all me, played by me. I asked someone if they want some of the swastika pie. And then the guy is supposed to go like, oh, no, thank you. And the hand motion that he's doing is supposed to be like, oh, so you do want some. Because like that's been like, yeah, it's my shit. Like swastika pie, my favies. That was the bit. You don't see my hand doing that in the skit. It's cut off. Without that, the skit doesn't make any sense. He ends up at the end saying like, yeah, just cut me like a piece of the crust, which is still like a joke on its own. But the lead up, it's just not there. Just wanted to throw that in there because I rewatched that and I'm like, I don't think anybody got that one, and that's okay. that's an L you gotta run with, baby. Jetrock said, maybe I'm missing something here, or Mr. GG didn't mention it, but if they dumped the bodies, was the SA staging really necessary? Was it in case the bodies are discovered? To me, it just comes across as shock value for the sake of shock value. I understand it's probably to highlight how disgusting the characters are, but I feel like the overt racism, Nazism, victim blaming, breaking and entering, and torturing was enough to do that. That is why it's done, because assuming the bodies are found and they do anything, they're gonna be like, oh, it was SA, so it couldn't be the girls. That was the reason why they did that. I still think that entire scene is just, it takes me out of the film by a mile, but you know, that's what they were trying to do. So I guess I'll point out that a lot of people, obviously when I put a title like this, TikTok said they couldn't finish this movie, which is kind of like a little theme I run with movies I get suggested on TikTok. So for example, Soft and Quiet, Skinamarink, The Deep House, the other one where the fucking guy has like puppets that are real little girls, Incident in a Ghostland, that one. Often people will insult TikTok, obviously, because I insult TikTok in it, and I'm like, yeah, all right, guys, if it's a fucking dog shit movie. But I do think this movie, you know, this is a weird way to describe it, a fun recommendation to somebody. There was an attempt, there was something there. This is a different film than other films that I've seen, at least fucking recently. It is weird to hear this movie recommended, though, when it's very just super over the top. Like, you know, it's a TikTok when they got the spooky ghost music in the back, and they're like, I will never watch this again. And that's the way that this was presented to me. So it's very easy to make fun of that, even though I get it, right? I play the game too, guys. I understand. It's just, it's funny to poke fun at that. So sorry, TikTok, that I make you the butt of the joke a lot of the time. Horror talk, my apologies. You know, I just like to mess around. I mean everything I say about the movie, but I'm just being a goofy goober is all. And we are gonna go to, I finally watched one of the most controversial films of all time. That is my Cannibal Holocaust video. So let's take a look at some of the comments there. This one was an interesting one because I do have a lot of movies kind of like just holstered where I'm like, I know I'm gonna end up watching this shit one day. I really don't care to, but it's there. And whenever I pull it out, all right, I'm gonna take my shot. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Okay, so top comments here. Rocky Gem said, one thing is I heard that when Robert Kerman, the anthropologist, realized that the animal they were killing in front of him was real, he got angry and tackled the director to the ground. At least one of the creatures was avenged. So there was a lot of background shit like that I read throughout the film. Sometimes, I'm not gonna say there was conflicting reports, but I just wasn't sure what to really be like, yeah, no, that was definitely a thing that happened. That was definitely a thing that happened. Because there was a bunch of shady shit, and it just seemed like it was a terrible experience, even though it ended up, you know, releasing this, in a lot of people's eyes, beautiful cult classic that just is a staple in the genre, which it is. You know, I can't deny that. Yeah, all right, he got tackled. Fuck him. Sodapunk said, I once went on a date with a guy, and during it, I made an offhand reference to Cannibal Holocaust during a conversation. He looked at me and asked, have you seen that movie? I tell him not in its entirety, but I've seen scenes from it and know a lot about it just out of morbid curiosity. Turns out his dad is Perry Perkinen, who was in the movie. He had been studying film in university and was casted by the director. It was his big film in acting, and it traumatized him so much he gave up on acting entirely. He wanted to quit, but at the same time, he was just a young student, I think only 19 or 20 when this was made, and didn't want to look bad at his first ever acting gig. Weirdest coincidence in my life. Which person is that specifically? Perry Perkinen. Oh, he's the one of the head honchos. I think he was like the douchiest one in the fucking movie. I'm pretty sure he's the, oh, he's the one in my thumbnail that's fucking holding up the turtle head like, yeah, turtle soup, baby, a la carte. Amanda Rhodes said, my bad. Amanda Rhodes said, minding this turtle-ass business. How does Gigi manage to get a laugh even when describing something so horrific? Mad skills. I think it's a coping mechanism for me. I think when I'm writing the disemboweling of a turtle while also watching it, I'm like, there's gotta be some balance in this. Because, yeah, I still don't enjoy that scene. Many people love it, and I knew this was gonna be not a hot take for me. I don't think this is a hot take video at all. I just know there was gonna be more disagreements than there normally is in my movie reviews, and that's because, you know, I'm kind of shitting on a cult classic. I knew this was gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm perfectly fine with that. Cocaine said, the I forgot my line part referencing the animal killing outtake had me rolling. Yes, glad you liked that one. I enjoyed that bit too. Basement Dweller said, the you won't kill a native on their own land bit made me laugh way too hard. Look at that. They're just pinpointing the gems in here. Guys, just scroll down to the comments and then forward it to this shit. And there we go. That's a little roundup of 5 recent videos that I did. I obviously had the 13 Ghost review, which if you haven't seen it, fucking go check it out. And I will be making a 13 Ghost tier list, which you can also look forward to if you give a damn. So I think that's going to be planned from now on, just monthly roundups. If I got stuff to talk about, cool. If I don't, we fucking move on. And we keep the truck rolling, baby. Viz.tv/MrGG. There's shit to buy. Thanks. Like the video if you care. Subscribe. And as always, I am Mr. GG, and I am out.